Redditors who caught your significant other red-handed while they were in the act of physically cheating. What was their excuse? / how did it go down? Got into a fight with my at the time GF on my way to work. Had a mutual friend sleeping on the couch. Came back about an hour later, work was 3 minutes away. With traffic, and found my ex in a teddy. Not the sweet pants and tank top I had left her in. Noticed some clothes, not mine, on my side of the bed. I ask if I'm interrupting something. She tells me I should leave. The toilet flushes. The bathroom door opens. I turn to see who is brave enough to plant their clothes on my side of my bed. Lo and behold, the motherfucker on the couch was giving me the deer in the headlight oh shit look.
In my towel.
She begins to panic and tell me to leave as he tucks tail back into the bathroom and locks the door. Still.
In my towel.
The apparent sound of the boiling of my blood kept him from opening the bathroom door and her from opening the bedroom door. I take a deep breath, shout out, this bitch better only have my shit in it when I get back. But take the towel, and went back to work, turned off my phone, bought a new towel and bedsit, burned the old sheets, and lived happily ever after with my new towel. Went to a party with my girlfriend. She was doing her own thing with her friends and I was just drinking with mine having a good time. Later in the night I went looking for her and couldn't find her. Oh well, it was a bigger house. Went into one of the bathrooms and saw her blowing some random dude in the shower. My first reaction was to punch him, but instead, I just laughed and walked out. She ran after me and tried to apologize. I just ignored her out the door and my sober buddy drove me home. We were horrified, but fuck it at that point. I haven't said a word to her since, almost 2 years ago. Edit, glad a lot of people agreed with my decision, as I think it really was the best course of action. I didn't even know the guy and I'm positive he didn't know me. The look on his face was priceless and the sound of her saying oh fuck with a dick in her mouth was even better. When I told my friends what I saw, that's when I got driven home. I wonder if she went back to finish? Probably did. Poor. I haven't caught anyone I was dating cheating, but caught a very good friend's girlfriend in a similar situation. We were at a pretty big party. I go upstairs to use the bathroom. When I come out of the bathroom I hear moaning coming from the room across the hall. The door isn't all the way shut, so I smile and decide I am going to fling the door open, yell to scare them, then shut the door. It will be a funny joke. When I fling the door open I see my buddy's girlfriend on all fours on the floor with some dude behind her plowing her like she's a Nebraska cornfield. Everybody froze. We stare at each other in shock for about 5 seconds, then I slam the door shut. She chased after me and begged me not to tell him. She even offered to give me money or whatever I wanted to stay quiet. I told her what I wanted was to never lay eyes on her again. I pulled him aside, told him, and then the two of us left the party. He dumped her the next day. She was pissed at me as if it were my fault she was cheating and got caught.
My boyfriend and I were hanging out at our apartment and some girl came over. He'd met her on Craigslist looking for a friend. A bit weird, but okay. Talked to her a bit, then went to bed. I thought I heard her leave not long after that. At 4:20 AM, the cats came in bitching about something and woke me up. I figured, what the hell, I'm kinda thirsty, so I got up and went to the kitchen to get some water. They were in the front room kissing. In disbelief and shock, we'd been together nearly 5 years, I made a racket getting a drink of water. They quickly separated and pretended they'd been talking. I went back to the bedroom, and waited a few minutes. Should I confront him? How? A few minutes passed, and she didn't leave. So I confronted him. It's 4 in the morning, I said.
Oh, she doesn't have a car and the buses aren't running.
So you can drive her home then?
I'm too drunk to drive. See? Are my eyes shut? Everything is fuzzy. I just can't tell.
And he sat there, looking at me with his eyes wide open. It sure didn't look fuzzy to me when I saw you kissing her, I said. I wanted to scream at him, but his kid from an ex was visiting and was sleeping on the couch.
She'll go home when the buses run again,
he said. I went to the bedroom and cried for a bit. Then I called my mother and told her I was moving back home. After a while he came back and asked if you could sleep in the bed. Since it was either that or out front with the door, I said yes. I moved my stuff into my car while he was sleeping. When he woke up, he asked if I was leaving. Take her home and we'll talk about it, I said.
If you're leaving, why haven't you packed up your stuff?
I have. But I can't get to this box when she's sleeping in front of it.
So I'll move her to the bed.
Excuse me.
You're leaving, so why should she?
And so then I had to spend several hours in her company being civil because his kid woke up and moved out while she was there. What was worse was the whole time I was moving out he was so paranoid that I would take something that was his.
Are those my bills?
No, they are mine.
Hold on, what game is that?
It's the game I paid for.
But you bought it for me.
I did not. I bought it and you started playing it. Ugh, this was only a month or so ago. I'm still in the process of getting my name off the lease. I know this will never get read, but it feels good to vent. TLDR boyfriend cheats on me with a Craigslist tour while I sleep in another room. I have to move out with her there because he has utterly no respect for me even after 5 years.
I got married far too young and for all the wrong reasons. Tip for all men. Jack off before making any important decisions. We immediately went into a troubled marriage phase. I was working long hours to make up for the loss of what little income she was making when she quit her job to play online games all day. What little time we spent together we spent fighting or ignoring each other. A couple of months later, things are better. Not good, but better. I decide to knock off work early to take her out on a date. I open the door and hear the unmistakable sound of my wife being fucked. I walk into the bedroom and see some dude fucking my wife and going at it good. So I just lean on the door and watch for a minute. Then finally I clear my throat and panic ensues. He grabs his clothes off the floor and bolts out the window and runs bareheaded to the car parked in my neighbor's driveway. My now ex-wife starts crying and begging and pleasing. I just say I'm going to my best friend's house for a few days. Be gone when I get back. She decided she doesn't want to have an amicable, uncontested divorce. What she doesn't know is the dude that fucked her called me like 2 weeks later, wanting to meet and talk. He told me she had been flirting with a bunch of dudes in chat rooms, and was pretending she was single, which is why he was there. I asked him if he'd testify to that under oath, and he said he would. When she saw him in court, her face went white and she immediately started talking to her lawyer. After the guy testified, the judge gave her a "you're such a whore" look and awarded me an annulment. Haven't spoken to her since.
Not going to say he was a good guy, but if the dude your wife cheated with thought she was single and later fire under her ass in court, he at least has a conscience.
As it turns out, I'm friends with him now. That's life. I was with my ex for 4 years. Now, I can't really say I'm surprised. Bro tip, if she'll cheat with you, she'll cheat on you. Woke up one night to the sound of her getting off in the living room. Decided to get up and see if she wanted help. Walk out and she's got a guy under her, one of our friends. I wasn't even mad, disappointed. I didn't really feel any strong emotion as a response, or maybe I was shocked into numbness. I just turned, walked back into the bedroom, grabbed a small box and tossed in some basics from the bathroom, toothbrush, etc. Grabbed my base, walked into the living room and said hope he's got your end covered, and walked out. It bothered me a lot for a couple years. Now I look at that moment as liberation though.
I once found out my ex-boyfriend had had sex with my best friend on New Year's Eve in the same bed as me while I was asleep. His justification: thought we were having a threesome. I was 16 years old and had been with my boyfriend for 6 months. He was my world. I was typically 16, madly in love, and of course I thought we would be high school sweethearts forever and ever. He was 17 about to turn 18. So we go to a girl's 16th birthday party and we are all having a good time. I've never been a drinker, so I'm hanging out looking after my drunk girlfriends. I can't find my dude, so I go with my best friend looking for him. Open the door of the bedroom of the girl whose party it was, to find them fucking. Of course, they didn't notice us. Walk into another room with my best friend and discussed this issue. I decided to go for the metaphorical jugular. I went and found her dad. He burst in the door, saw exactly what I did and lost his shit. My then ex-boyfriend got a hit to the head and was literally thrown out in his underwear. The party was over after that, everyone had to leave. She wasn't allowed to see him anymore and wasn't allowed to go to parties for months afterwards. I dumped him the next day. He'd taken off after being thrown out, and of course, he blamed me for the trouble he was in because I told her dad, who got hold of his conservative Christian mother, who grounded him too. I was on cloud 9 knowing I'd caused the both of them so much misery.
Friend of mine got home from work early one day. He long suspected something was going on. When his wife wouldn't let him in his own house, he figured that was all the evidence he needed. He proceeded to kick down the front door, walked into the kitchen, picked up the blender and walked out without saying a word.
I found my ex-boyfriend in the same bed with my ex-best friend. I was supposed to be at work, but they said they needed to cut hours and let me go home early. Wanting to surprise my boyfriend, I stopped at his house with some tacos and beer. I noticed my best friend's car in the parking lot, but I didn't really think much of it because they were friends and we all hung out from time to time. He had given me a key to his house a week earlier, with the instructions to just stop by and let myself in, so that's exactly what I did. Found them on his bed in the living room. Yay, he was weird, kept his bed in the living room, naked, sweaty and clearly just finished sexy times. I freak and yell. He says they had got drunk the night before and rather than drive home, she crashed there. Would have been cool, if it weren't for the fact both were butt-ass naked. I looked at her, told her we had been friends since 7th grade, and that I deserved the truth. She said they fucked and had been fucking for several months at that point. I threw the tacos and beer at my ex-boyfriend, grabbed a garbage bag and packed up whatever crap I had left at his house before. I hadn't spoken to him since then. I decided to forgive my friend. We had been best friends for far too long, but then I found out he was fucking with my next boyfriend, and I wrote her off as a slutty whore bag. She still tries to talk to me occasionally, but I tell her to fuck off every time.
I was too young to remember this, but my mom, dad, first stepdad, and my dad's best friend all agree on this one story. When I was about 3, my pops came home from work one day. Saw the neighborhood handyman's truck out front. Assumed he was there to fix the pump. Dad walked inside, down the hall. Found the handyman, my stepdad, and my mom in bed. From my dad, it had been a long day. I was tired. Went to the kitchen, made a couple sandwiches. Then got in my buddy's truck and left. Fast forward 25 years later. Mom's been married 5 times. Cheated on all of them with the next one. First stepdad and my dad are buddies. He considers him banging my mom a favor because it gave him a reason to get rid of her cheating ass. Wasn't the first time she cheated, just the only time he caught her in the act. TLDR, dad caught the plumber laying the pipe to my mom, made a sandwich and left. Now friends with the plumber. Family friend suspected her husband of cheating. Husband is staying at a hotel and she got the room number from downstairs and knocked on his door, which he refused to open. She ran downstairs frantically yelling for help because she believed her husband was having a heart attack and couldn't make it to the door. Security immediately rushes up and opens the door to display him in bed with a woman half his age. They're still married. Thank you for watching. Smash that like button like it's a
Thick booty.
And don't forget to subscribe to okpjdark if you like nice things, like new videos every day. See you tomorrow.